right, guys, welcome to this week's Sunday check-in. Before we start, as usual, a little bit about myself and a disclaimer. I am a slow and steady type of investor. I do look at the fundamentals for my decision and the technical analysis for timing. I do not do intraday. I only do weeks to years. All trades are with my own money, and all trades are possible to follow live for free. You can see everything I do in my portfolio, and there's a link in the description for you to look at if you want. Otherwise, I also talk about my trades here on YouTube. You're responsible for your own losses, as usual, and also, of course, your own gains. With that said, now let's look at crude oil and uranium. Before we start looking at the charts, let's have a look at the world the last week, what is actually happening. For this, I use Forex Factory, and this is a free tool that you can find at forexfactory.com, and they actually have this calendar where you can see basically any important information that is about to come out or has come out in the world. You can see here, this is the different action that is supposed to happen in the upcoming week. And the colors is basically how much impact this has on the world. And the red ones are the ones that have a very high impact that is expected. Let's switch to energy, because that is what we're looking at, the energy calendar, and let's go back to last week just to see if there's something important that has happened in the world that we need to know about before we look at the charts. And straight off the bat, we had an OPEC meeting. These are unfortunately closed, so you can actually follow them, but they do have interviews and press conferences afterwards. When it comes to this meeting, for what I understand, is the OPEC Plus, and those are the countries that are outside of the OPEC. They have promised a tiny cut to the oil market, and it doesn't impress outright. But one should never underestimate the geopolitics symbolism of these actions. So basically, by signaling that the oil group is eager to make swift changes in case of geopolitical reality change, the lower October production target is also a mirror into the Middle Eastern psyche. So as oil started moving closer to the fiscal break-even levels of Saudi Arabia or Iraq, maintaining crude prices within the range of $90 to $100 per barrel will remain a top item on the OPEC Plus agenda. And that is known to us, that is, I believe, is not a problem. Let's continue down this calendar, see if there's anything else. And there we go. We have a few red ones in the United States, and this is basically the inventories. And if we open it up, whoops. Let's just, oh no, I pushed the wrong button. There we go. I'm gonna go back here. This is the one I was supposed to push. Here you have more information on any type of the news, and what is interesting for us is these three numbers, and this is the forecast. This is the latest, the one before, and this is the actual outcome. And crude oil inventories, it was actually forecasted to be minus 2 million, but is now 8.8 million. And that means that the United States was able to basically stockpile a lot of oil. And this will be very interesting and very important, because this means that Europe is able to buy from the United States. since, well, the whole Russia thing, and Europe, I believe, will completely stop buying from Russia. I think it was December, now in December or early 2023. So these are good news for Europe. It does mean that hopefully the price will continue down. And that is it. That is of interest for last week for crude oil. When it comes to uranium, I actually don't see anything that is directly interesting in this calendar. What we do know is that in Finland, actually, there was a new nuclear power reactor that opened up in March, and it was connected to the national grid in March. And according to the company, the electricity production will cover around 40% of Finland's electricity demand and reduce the country's electricity imports by about 60%. This is very good news for uranium because if Finland does it, that this means that all other countries, like Sweden, for example, that just recently shut down its reactors, they will start looking and thinking again that maybe solar and wind power is not the way to go, considering what is happening to the prices in Finland, and they will hopefully reopen their own reactors or even start building new ones. But we'll see. It's actually election day today in Sweden, so it's going to be very interesting to see what happens tomorrow. And if the blue ones wins in Sweden, that would be Moderaterna, Kristdemokraterna, and the rest, the Sverigedemokraterna, Swedish Democrats. They are very positively inclined to nuclear power, so that will be interesting. That will also hopefully have a very positive effect on the price. Now, let's have a look at the charts. My positions are actually looking pretty great. When it comes to crude oil, I did enter at March the 28th, and then I added to that position in August the 9th, and they are both up 23, respectively 35%, which is actually great news. And when it comes to uranium, and we'll look at the chart as soon as we're done here with the crude oil, we are up 35% for that position. So it does look great. Let me just do that. So, what has been happening this week? As you can see, this is a short position here in my first entry and my second entry. And this week, it's just as expected. It continued to climb down, actually as low as $87. It did have a little pushback. This Friday, I believe the 9th, was it Friday? Yeah, it was Friday. And I do expect this to continue because we are well below the moving averages. We are well below the cloud. This is the Ichimoku cloud. Red means that we are basically in a downtrend, and this is what we want to see. We want to have our price action below the cloud. And the target is these three lines that I charted before, and we have a target between $80 to $60. And as soon as we actually fall below $80, this is where I will start to look how am I to protect this position. But we will get to it once we're there. Maybe take one more week, or maybe it will take us 2-3 months. I don't know. That also depends a lot on what is happening in the world, and how Russia is doing, and all of that. And side note there, from what I understand, it's not really going so good for Russia. which is great news for Ukraine and the rest of the world. So this is the crude oil. It's been a good week. We've continued in the right direction. Nothing out of the unusual here. So we're happy with this position, and we'll continue to watch it next week in order to see what happens. If we then jump down to uranium, and uranium is a long position for me. Let's see what has happened here. This I actually don't remember why it's there. So let's remove it. This is my long position for uranium, and uranium is, for me, it's a long play. Oh no! Okay, there we go. I should not have removed it. Let's see if we can. What am I doing? I have no idea. Sometimes, you see, I haven't been in this chart an entire week, so I actually don't know what I plotted last week, but it doesn't matter. We'll see. I have a target at $20. Anyway, this is where I entered the position, and then it's went instantly against me, and then it gapped abruptly up and continue its trend up. And as you can see, the Ichimoku cloud is now forming a bullish type of trend. I will switch to weekly just to see how this is looking. And there we go. Let's see if we do this. There we go. There we go. This is the one I was supposed to have. I'm just going to lock it so I don't screw it up until next week. And then we have the same problem with me looking at the chart and not understanding why there's lines there. This is the target for me. It's between around $20 to $23. And again, I will see how this develops. If we have a very healthy and good medium averages, we have a good cloud forming, and we have very good price action, then I will most likely move this target to even more. I will be protecting some of them, my profits, of course, but not all of them. But as you can see, the last week, as expected, the uranium continues to move forward, and I believe that this will continue. Again, I do hope that this is a position that I will be holding for months, maybe even years, depending on the price action. And I will be riding this position a long time, as long as it continues in the right way. And that's it, guys. It's been a good week for our positions. We will let them ride for another week, and next Sunday we will have check in again and see how they're doing. If we need to do anything on Monday, or if we can continue them to let them ride again. And again, this Monday, tomorrow, no, I'm not going to do anything with any position. Uranium, I will just let it continue up, and crude, I will let it continue down. And that's it, guys. Thank you for tuning in, and I will hear from you again soon, hopefully. Bye.